Set up a YouTube. So you already have this lined up like this with a YouTube. Doesn't matter which one. Set up a YouTube. Yeah. Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Welcome to holiness. These sessions given by Jesus are so holy. We can talk about Course in Miracles and talk about the concepts and argue about the concepts and which book. And Jesus just says, you know, this is so irrelevant. What he's calling us all to is this direct looking, to look directly with him. And this is what the ego runs from. It doesn't stand into that opportunity to join with brothers, to learn that he is in control of all the miracles, and to be shown by him which miracles are needed. And really everything else in a course is not direct. It's just not direct experience until you've been directed by the Holy Spirit to which desire is the denial. And to have the commitment to look with the Holy Spirit, to just go all the way in the mind, all the way until that desire is not experienced anymore. And it's such a this is such a powerful way to experience A Course in Miracles so directly, to just experience that everything he says in this course is true by direct experience. It's just like so much happiness just even saying that this joining together is given by him is like tuning us in to that voice. Exactly what it's all course. It's so course. It's the truest experience, because Jesus wants us to have the experience of the kingdom of heaven again within. I was just telling Mary, and we're gonna have satsang tomorrow, and I'm gonna talk about it, but it's tomorrow night, so I'm gonna talk about it now too. And that, I guess this is kind of going into satsang, but so I was reading, you know, and I was looking at different spiritual traditions about desires, because most of them talk about it. And I just wanted to see, you know, what did Buddha say exactly? You know, it was like release of desire, no desires is nirvana. And some guy wrote in and said, well, that just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound happy. Oh my God. And then someone else wrote in, yeah, and someone else who was teaching Buddhism wrote, well, yeah, you're right. It's not, you know, you're not going to be happy without desires. I just went, oh my gosh. The level of happiness as the desires go, it's the continued celebration of all that is. It's nirvana. Oh my God. So much happiness. So And this Jesus is like spoon feeding it. I mean, he had to spoon feed it to me, obviously. Okay, that was chapter 20. You know, here, look at this, look at that desire, look at this desire, look at this desire. Whoa. And at first, you know, you fight the looking, you're not looking, your mind's drifting off. I'd rather, you know, I think, God, there's just, you know, there's something out there. I got to go, something over there I got to do. There's something that we literally say that. We have to watch what we're saying. Oh, but I have life to take care of. No, here's how Jesus, but this is what Jesus is saying in the Course. He is saying, you take care of the willingness to look, I'll take care of everything else. What a deal. You're like, if we make, there is no higher priority every day than this deep looking. There just isn't. I mean, anyone talk to Jesus and hear something different. It simply is, it's the fastest way to see that we do not want miracles, which is the fastest way to see that we're choosing something other than divine light, which is the fastest way for him to show us how we treasure something other than light, which is the fastest way to change our minds and go, wait a minute, maybe see that that hell that we were desire, that we are treasuring in the little pockets of the subconscious mind, we don't, it's ridiculous. It's so silly. We're being silly and fighting them over a concept. And we're fighting them to keep this, oh my gosh, the happiness, like, but it takes a lot of looking because we've tricked ourselves, and this gift of honesty of God. Ask me to tell you if you have a single little ooch of a denial of a miracle. If I give you a desire, so we're going to look at a desire today, and you'll see the power in the mind that comes in from going, Jesus, will you show me this in fullness all the way? And when you discover that you've never taken, I mean, we all have miracles, like, but they're controlled. You'll see how controlled they are. They're kind of on the surface, and it's like a flash moment of peace, and then on to the next, and in hell and the beehive and everything. But to take one of these desires, just one, that's in chapter 20, or that we come up with, and just go, Jesus, I am going to see this until there is not a scrap in my mind. And just start to notice the relief. Like the relief, like, but meanwhile, while you start looking, you'll just see it, man, that ego, it's going to argue, it's going to get mad. You'll see the mad stuff, the anger rise up. You'll be really pissed off just as you start to look, but just see how it plays, you know, and just go, oh, that's a trick. It's a trick, and dive under it because we can. Or pain, you'll have this horrible pain in your foot or something because you know, a friend you haven't seen for 50 years, a phone, you'll just start to look, oh, and then the phone will ring. Anything, I got something I got to do. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So the point here for us is that we want to go, so Jesus, take me down until I laugh. Remember, he said the world will end as happy laughter. Why not today? Why not? And I would start to see that. He'd bring me down. And then I would just be sitting somewhere and just start laughing like a loon for no reason. Because it's funny. It's actually funny that, you know, we could pretend that we could, you know, keep that pair of scissors he talks about in the Course in Miracles. He's trying to take scissors away like a kid, you know, we're fighting them. No, Jesus, I want this desire. So even in other spiritual traditions that they talk about desire, look, desires are where it's at. And now Jesus is, okay, he's driving up in chapter 20 with a silver platter. Going, I'm going to lay them out for you. Not all of them, they're in, you know, because not all of what's in A Course in Miracles is in this book, but it's enough to get a pretty good, at least for me, page after page, going, oh my gosh, I still want that. I want that more than, you know. And then just notice, but the point is reminding for me is be determined to see it all the way with him. Just like Jesus, I don't want a scrap of this left in my mind. Because see, that's us choosing. That's us demanding the devil to get behind me. Like, no more devil. I am not choosing the devil anymore. So let's just ask him, because so much happiness. Just go for bonus miracles. Okay, and then miracle-mindedness. Miracle-mindedness is looking for miracles every single day in a very, I'm asking Jesus, in a very focused way with him. Like it's top priority. And to look at something until it is completely released from the subconscious mind. No hidden little secrets, no, you know, I'm not going to run. So we go just all the way in a miracle. Oh, did you have a question, Freddie?
Yes, I'd like to look at the desire for guilt.
Oh, yes. Okay, so let's ask Jesus, though. I hear yes, and oh my gosh, Freddie, thank you for that. And they start, because you see how your brother lays that gift at your feet. You see, when a brother asks a question, he's laying a gift. Okay, the desire for the experience of guilt. What do I hear? Yes, I got yes on that. It's like you'll see your Jesus antenna, your whole being will just go, oh yeah. Okay, this is the happy learner. So, okay, Freddie, so let's ask Jesus. Oh, this is so good. Jesus, do I, in my subconscious mind, have the desire to experience guilt? What are we hearing? Okay.
Well, I know it's true, because I've only just realized that I can accept self-forgiveness. I can accept self-forgiveness. I can forgive myself.
Aww.
Yeah. And I've only just flicked that switch to have this process happen.
Oh, it's beautiful to see the power from the mind with that.
Yeah.
So, okay, Jesus, now, so we do a check-in on that because we're starting to see it doesn't hold the value that it thought it did in the subconscious mind. And also we need to be shown by him how many things, how not following him 100% is the guilt machine.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really what we want to see.
Right. Yeah.
And would he show us that? Show me how, so there's no way I can trick myself anymore, you know, because it'll separate guilt from following, you know, guilt's got its own, it just comes up, or, you know, however it appears in consciousness.
Mm.
And so it's like, Jesus, we're willing, we want to see this head on, man. Give it to me straight about guilt. And then Freddie, what do you hear from him on it? Oh my God, it's something good. So.
Well, you're saying that it's not listening to Jesus, and I accept that 100%.
And let's just ask him while we're in there, Freddie, like, okay, Jesus, where am I confused that guilt has value? As experience.
Well, the only value it has for me is that it provides me with a lack of self-love.
Okay, and if you have the lack of self-love exactly the way that you want, like, okay, we get as much guilt as we can, we have the lack of self-love, what do we believe in the subconscious mind? You know, what's the value in that? It's hidden in the subconscious mind because it keeps showing up, so we must have a value of it. What's the value?
That I don't deserve it.
Okay, that we don't deserve
Love.
God's love.
God's love.
Jesus, am I willing to see this differently? Oh, I heard no. Okay. Okay, so if we don't deserve God's love, what kind of benefit? See, it's always, they call it secondary benefit in the subconscious mind. If guilt's showing up, we must think there's some kind of good deal we're getting out of it. What's the good deal we think we're getting keeping guilt?
Or just hiding from the truth. As if that's anything to be grateful for.
But like, let's just say, let's explore. It feels good to kind of explore down there. Go, okay, so because we're just objective. Like, okay, I can hide from something, I cannot have, but let's just explore, what do we think that really gets? Because obviously we must think it gets something, because we keep that power turned on. I hear it's power. Somehow guilt is the false perception that experiencing guilt is power. Ask Jesus, yes or no. Let's see what.
I think it's self-punishment.
And what would that get? So we get as much self-punishment as we can deliver to ourselves. What does that get? I can punish myself. I'm just going to punish the tar out of myself. And what does that get when I ultimately get punished perfectly?
Okay. Yeah, to feel like a victim.
Okay, and then you're a total victim and you're total punished and total victim. Then what would that get? Like it's perfect. The ego gets it exactly like it wants. It wants to have the tar beat. What is that getting?
It means I don't have to show up.
You don't have to
show up.
Oh,
Show up.
that's
Mhm.
and is it fair to say that like I don't have to take responsibility for my mind?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is powerful seeing. See, if we keep going under these things and just find out the truth, because ultimately not taking responsibility for my mind to see how all there is love, that's the only thing gets discovered. But if that treasure, Jesus, do I think it's a treasure not to take responsibility for my mind and actually look at this? It's like humbling. Humbling when he said, yep.
Yeah, I keep hearing that somehow I've got it reversed, so it's heaven. I think the more punishment I get, the closer I get to heaven, or the more like heaven it is.
Yeah. That's what needs to be seen. That, because remember, we have heaven and hell flipped. And so Mary's like pointing to seeing, we actually think guilt is heaven. Ask them. And self-punishment is heaven. Jesus, do I think guilt and self-punishment is heaven? Yes or no? Oh, oh, feel the smoke rising.
I'm just getting that feeling of unworthiness.
Okay. So let's ask them, do we look at unworthiness or do we stay with guilt for the moment? Oh my gosh, you know what he said to me? This is really good, Freddie. He said, all unworthiness arises out of guilt.
Yeah.
Right? So if we stay with the core guilt thing and release that, see, unworthiness is deeper in the dream bubble. So if we back the truck up and look at the relishing and release the guilt to a miracle, that relishing of that experience, then those other things can't appear in consciousness. That's, if we release the idea that guilt can somehow get us heaven. Jesus, am I willing to change my mind that guilt is heaven, that some kind of power can be gained out of guilt?
Thank you for doing this with me.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much, Freddie. It's crazy. I'm so grateful for you. So thank you. It's crazy. Man, we hang with those mighties if Jesus gives them in. Because it's love. It's like this total love behind this. Love that goes on and on and on in celebration. It's holy. It's for all of us, Freddie. I'm checking in with him. Do I have a single scrap of relishing guilt? And you go until he says no. It's like, Jesus, I will not tolerate this play in my mind. And will you just show me all of it, everything? I want to clean the slate off. That I ever thought that guilt brought me power or heaven experience to see the truth.
This is a great process, but do you think we have to keep reaffirming this? You know,
I just checked with Jesus, because what I found, this is just my, it's my experience with the reaffirmation. I'd be sitting there going, okay, so do I really like this, Jesus? Yes. Okay, can you show me the relishing of it? Because there's an energy to it that's suppressed, the energy, that desire. So it's really letting the experience here is that he reveals to me in my willingness the underlying condition, which is the relishing of the experience of guilt. And so then it would be like a wave, this relishing. It's like, oh my gosh. And then I go, Jesus. Yeah, he's just saying it's just attentiveness. I go, Jesus, is there any more? Is there any more here? And it would be like waves, and the next wave would come. Sometimes not. I mean, we're powerful enough just to say, okay, I'm done with it. But for some reason, so many times with these desires, let me ask him. He just says it was helpful. It's just clear and it's gentle. It's very gentle what he's offering, this looking, and then you just
let it go.
And it just let it be shown. He would show it to me and I'd get it in fullness, that I liked it more than God. So we can ask him. So it was helpful for me for clarity in my mind and precision, that I was not tricking myself and keeping anything down there, that my doors were completely open to him in his direction. So that I found it helpful for me. So if we check in and just go, Jesus, is there any more of this relishing guilt down there? Am I finding heaven in any way in guilt? Yes or no? It's humbling when he says yes.
Yes, yeah.
But then you go, okay, you're right, Jesus.
It's humbling when he says no.
It's humbling when he says no, but it's happy. All of it's happy. Because if he says yes, there's still more. You go, okay, give it to me. I'm going to look.
I'm willing to let it go.
Oh, that's beautiful. Jesus, am I willing to fully accept the miracle on the play of guilt in my mind? Yes or no?
Right here, not yet.
Okay.
No.
And what is he showing you about it that needs to be seen?
He's showing me that I'm really attached. I'm really invested in and thinking guilt is going to get me something.
It's so good to see. So good. We're so
It's-
good to see that.
It's very early days. I've only just realized how guilty I feel.
That's beautiful.
I think it's going to be a process, an ongoing process for me.
It's
I
all
only-
the, yeah, go ahead, Freddie.
I only just realized how unforgiven, how lacking I am in my own self-forgiveness. that's what I need to do, is just forgive myself. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a work I'm going to be working
Yes.
on.
Yes.
It's
And
only just happened.
yeah, it's
Last-
beautiful though, because it's like the whole floodgates are open now for the
Yeah.
healing. And that honesty, you come here with such a deep honesty of God, Freddie. It's such a beautiful symbol in the mind. And but see, for myself, I couldn't really, I'd hidden it so well for myself. Like until he just showed me like smack like this, chapter 20, and I kept seeing, I didn't know either that I was not forgiving myself or that I was like soaked in guilt. And so, yeah, it was just helpful though, this where he just showed me in my mind and how simple it is. Okay, here, look at this. And like you said, you just go, okay, he's reminding me, I guess I must need to hear this about 100 times because he keeps reminding me, is to have no tolerance. That he's reminding me that we have the power, because we're infinite being, to just say, no, I'm going to heal this. I'm not tolerating this. It's the tolerance. He kept telling me, you're too tolerant. I didn't know what that meant even. He'd say, you're too tolerant. Jesus, am I tolerating this in my mind? And I don't have to. Because it's that little, I might go back and find, no, he says no, but anyway, he's reminding me of it. I have him anyway. So he's telling me, my mind just caught on this, you will demand it. See, it's at our command for this to leave our mind, the mind. But at first he says, this is kind of like a process because we don't, the whole consciousness is made for us to make us hoodwink ourselves to think we are not powerful enough to banish it from our mind. You know, and he says in a new covenant, you to believe not, you have not the power for this, thus, or the strength for this, thus you must rely on mine. And I can see why I had to rely on his, because I was like I was playing powerless game. You can ask him, Jesus, is guilt part of the powerless game? But you can also ask them, do I have the power granted by God, by you, to banish this guilt from my mind? Yes or no?
Yes.
Doesn't that feel good? I love where that's coming from, Freddie. I could feel it heart to heart when you said yes.
Well, it's a lie. I can just let go of it and just receive the truth.
Oh, that's beautiful. See, and that's an example of not playing in the currency of hell. Because you can hear it, you hear that this is helpful for all of us, Freddie. Hear how definitive it's where we're coming from when we're saying, look, I am not tolerating this. You know, it's a very definitive. It's a Jesus in the desert. Look, when the ego shows up, he just was no. And that's when the divine power comes in. It's when we hem and haw and go, or distract ourselves. But when we're definitive, with a definitive no, I am going to accept a miracle in my mind for this. And it shows that we have had all the power all along.
We certainly know that guilt is a lie, so why not just let it go and keep letting it go?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's only in the last 24 hours that I realized how much I was holding on to guilt and how much I could be rid of it. I didn't even realize it.
It's so beautiful. That's for all of us.
Self-forgiveness is what I put it as. I was lacking in self-forgiveness.
And what does Jesus say about it now?
Everything's forgiven and released.
Oh. Because that's, until we get that definitive with it, we have to see how much we like dancing with that devil. You know, for some of us, you know, for some things you'll notice different things, you know, some things you're just going to go, no, I don't need that, because the correction is instantaneous. It's just a change. I've changed my mind. I am not calling forth that witness of hell anymore. You know, I'm not going to invest in that desire. So here's, I'm accepting how powerful my mind is to change it and go, no, not working. It's not where I'm going to have a purified, holy mind, all desires burned in the light of truth. And then for some things in the ego, where it feels that its sense of identity is really threatened, then it gets into the play of anger, the play of, oh, I can't see this, oh, I can't hear Jesus. You know, it will throw out that those little, Uji calls them stones in the bush, and then they go spinning out. But we can just we can see past that trick and we go, no, I am going to accept a miracle. So that's really the question always in these sessions. Am I willing to choose the truth? Like Freddie said, to see that this is a lie, it's untrue, and choose the truth. So Jesus, have we accepted the miracle on guilt? And we're talking about it, you know, because it's for all of us to accept the miracle. What are we hearing?
I can accept a miracle.
You can?
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's beautiful. What are you hearing, Mary?
I heard the only response to that question was yes, I can accept a miracle. Because I was kind of like, well, if I accept a miracle now, what about, you know, tomorrow when I, you know, it's like,
Good for you. Aw. This is so good. She caught the play. Oh, there's so much love in that. It's crazy. This is so much love under these things. Oh my God, it's so much love. Think how much love, you can't even know how much love's under guilt, because the guilt obscures what love is. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And then she cut it off. See, we got to cut that devil off at the pass. Are you hearing anything, Renee? We haven't heard much.
Yeah, I was just like checking in on it, and just like seeing how I was hearing him, and how like I was just naturally asking, starting to become like where I just go and I'm just naturally checking. Because what I heard was, I was checking in on, I think it was when we were, well, anyway, it was just, it was like joining. That was what I was hearing is, yes, I'm willing to join. And that's, you know, so it's where it's at is here in the joining, and just, so yeah, he's just like very strongly, you know, like okay, stay right here. Stay right here. Don't, just stay with me. And so there's been a release, just kind of like a gentle, very gentle release of this, and seeing how I can just kind of ask, like, yeah, it's just bringing me back to, like, is this what's most helpful? What's most helpful in this moment to see?
You can feel it. Jesus, have we accepted the miracle? So good. Just-
I hear yes.
Yes, too. We go together, you and I. And he's talking about this, this makes me feel so humble because, I could see, let's just really see what that miracle is. I never thought about that. I never thought about really, let's just look, what's in that, how precious that is. Because the miracle is choosing for God and his kingdom and all that we are. I mean, that's just like, so we never confuse ourselves and wait for a slow correction. Oh, it's so great. Jesus, will you please help me any place I'm slow on the correction? Oh my gosh. But you feel the relief and the being as these things you're just relieved. And meanwhile, you start noticing, oh my God, I was arguing to keep this beast. Oh, that was so great, Freddie. Thank you.
I'm hearing the desire for control.
Okay. I think we go all the way. Yeah, this is a deep one. Okay, let's see how we're doing. I'm game to look. Who's game to look? We can take a look and then you can keep going, or we'll just see how it comes in flow. Okay, Jesus. Is it helpful, and everyone listen, is it helpful in the healing of the mind, is it most helpful to look at the desire for the experience of control? Yes or no?
I'm hearing yes.
So this is helpful to see how fast this correction can be. Okay, Jesus. Anybody else? Freddie, what are you hearing? This is a good one to look at?
Not in respect to this guilt trip.
But the guilt, I thought you accepted miracle on the guilt, or did you have more to see?
No, I thought that Mary felt the guilt was to do with control, a desire for control.
Oh, she was on to a fresh one.
Yeah, I'm on to a new
Since we got the miracle,
desire.
she wants to look at control. It's been very much in mind with Jesus. He's been encouraging to go all the way on control because it's such a.
I so much want to be the Mary character. So much wants to be in control. It's just my mind, my ego mind is providing some very rich opportunities to look at this.
Hey, Jesus, do I relish the experience of control? Trying to feel like I'm in control. Do I like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, me too. I love that.
No doubt.
So great, but we can look and then we can laugh and go, okay, that's a play. That's a play going. Okay, good, Jesus. Okay. So what's he Renee's laughing? Is that in there somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Mary. It sounded gonna be the nativity scene.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So Jesus, what do we need to see relative to this? What's I hear no release to a miracle yet.
Well, what I'm hearing is that I definitely think my happiness is in control.
Okay, she thinks her happiness is in control.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can see the devil dancing. I see it. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. So I think let's look at that fully. Do I value control, the experience and control more than God?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just hearing that I think I know better than God, what will make me happy. Thank you very much.
We're so funny.
Oh,
It's so
my.
good to look at this, really, and get to the point where you laugh about it. Okay. All right, Jesus. Okay. What else do we need to see about control? How we're creating little, he tells us, you create little packages of hidden things that you think it's so wonderful. So you think it's heaven.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and what I'm also hearing, and I don't know why I'm hearing this, although it's pretty obvious, and that is arrogance. I love the arrogance of it. That I know better than God. I can't explain that.
It's funny, when it's in the honesty of God, it gets funny. See, that's just honesty because we're admitted, right again, Jesus. Okay. All right. So are we willing to change our mind that we can ever get heaven out of the play of control? I hear no. Okay. Oh, okay. What do we need to see? So that means there's something else to see here. Okay, what else, Jesus? Oh, he's talking about the Tinker Toys. This is my little Tinker Toy factory. Okay.
Security, like it's an investment. It's an investment.
You feel like you get security from it, or
an investment.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I get security from it.
And there's a lot of pleasure in control.
That's a good thing to see too. Jesus, do I get a lot of pleasure out of control? Let him show you all the pleasure, man. It'll make your hair curl. all the pleasure that we love, and the pain. Let him show you the pain too. Like the pictures, he doesn't give you the pain. He just kind of shows you where in the plane of consciousness. He might give you pictures. He might show you scenarios where, and you just couldn't resist. It was like a mosquito bite, that itches. You got to scratch it again, even though it doesn't work.
I have to be clear. He's telling me I have to be very clear that I really want to see this.
Oh, that's good, Mary. That is so good. That is so important. That we have to be clear that we want to see it. That is it. See, he can't show us anything that we don't want to see.
And I think he's telling me that's what's been holding me back from really accepting a miracle on this desire for control is I don't want to see it.
Oh, Mary, that is so good.
Well, I could share with you all that I have spent hours, literally hours, looking at my relishing of this desire. So it's just gotten to the point where it's like, where's the rubber going to meet the road here?
Yes.
Where am I going to really, like Kay was saying, be convinced that the only path is accepting a different way to see this. Like Freddie was saying, am I willing to see the truth here?
Oh man, that's wicked good. That's so good. That's the rubber hits the road, man. You're so on point. That's so on point. Wow.
I think control is about independence.
And autonomy. Autonomy.
And separation.
And what, Freddie?
ultimately it's separation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so helpful to have the mind be so open. Like Mary's saying, I finally opened my mind to see it. We can see how the willingness is to see it. Like when we willing to see it, it's no big deal in a way. It's the unwillingness that's causing all the pain, all the suffering, all the, and then we finally go, oh, okay, just give it to me. It's like, oh, and then after it's like, well, that was simple. But in the meantime, what's so good about this is it's just a demonstration of how consciousness plays to deny the miracle and delay it. Until we finally go, no, I'm going to say no to this. And I have the power to do it.
Yeah, part of the play here
Yeah.
in consciousness was that I see myself as weak, that I don't have the power to say no to the desire for control or my thoughts in various scenarios seem more powerful than God.
Oh, my thoughts being more powerful than God. And relishing that.
And relishing that.
Yeah.
I'm relishing you, Kay. You're such a guide.
It's that holy purpose acceptance for us, When Jesus tells me that there's someone to be in holy, I pay so much attention to that because I know he's showing me the way out. And it's precious. And we need each other. Oh my goodness. To hold each other's hands and walk out of this thing together.
Yeah.
But this no to the ego that we're experiencing that, it can't be even a power in that. All the power in the mind, all the power of God comes in with that simple no. It's happiness. It's just happiness. And then once you kind of get the training wheels going on this with him, and you see, like, I just saw it, that just everything was that. Whatever he would show me, it's like I am going all the way in my mind, no matter what. And I know he's going to, will you help me, Jesus? And every time he would. But I had to be really attentive to, do I look at that or this? And he'd say no, then I'd drop it. And he'd say, yes, you can look at that. Okay, can I go all the way with you, Jesus? Or he might say, okay, and I would take a break. And he'd say, take a break. Okay, can I go? And I'd ask him, can I go at it again? It's a happy learning. It's the happy learning. You see how powerful your mind is just to say no to this stuff. Let's just say no to it, We lost Renee somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Probably lost her internet. This is good stuff, Mary. What else is Jesus saying? I like hearing what Jesus said.
Yeah, what I'm hearing right now is kind of repeating what you were saying, but he's been working with me on this very clearly. And that is, I need to be absolutely clear with myself or clear with him that I'm not accepting anything else. And I actually write it down and walk around with it. And, that I'm not accepting anything else, because I mean, it seems subtle, but the other voice that's constantly like, oh, this is intractable. You're never going to get through this. Oh, I still haven't received a miracle, and just letting all that go and just say, No, I'm not accepting any of that anymore.
Oh, saves time. It's a collapse of time. It's acceptance of divine power. That we have all the power granted by the Father. I'm entitled to miracles, but it can't be. I wonder if I don't know if I want a miracle.
Yeah, or thinking I have to put a lot of effort into it, like it's me doing it. You know, I've noticed that when that miracle finally comes, I'm not doing anything, and I'm like a big doer. You know, I'm just saying, okay, I give it up.
Yeah.
You know,
Give up the
I
ghost.
give up the ghost.
That's awesome. Really is. This is such a good example, this whole session, about how you have to be definitive with the ego. You have, it's just a crisp, no, I don't accept that in my mind. And I want to see it. And like Mary says, we don't have to do anything other than be willing, like you said, a little. But no, we're gonna, get involved in the kerfuffle and all the stuff that comes, like I said, that's why the desire is so pure at the level of desire, because everything else in consciousness is going to bloom out of that. So when the mad happens, or the upset, or I'm sure I'm going to hell if I look at this, or whatever, just say no to all that and just go, no, I'm going to look at the level of desire. That's where the miracle is. So I am entitled to miracles. It's not, he's very definitive. I am determined to see, we got to read it like he wrote it, with conviction. It can't be, I kind of want to see.
And the messages from Jesus you've been sharing about the temptations in the desert, and where he didn't put up with any of it. He wouldn't have any of it. Didn't even put any stock in it, but just said, "Get behind me, I am," and would start quoting scripture. That's very powerful.
It is powerful. It's so helpful for me. Thanks for the reminder. I don't know how many times I need to hear that. It's just, but a lot, because it's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a good reminder. Cut it off, nip it.
Yeah. Don't even entertain it, Mary.
So now we can ask him, have I accepted a miracle on this? This is such a good session.
I have to laugh sometimes when we ask that question, because I hear an answer I'm not expecting. And I heard a yes, and I'm not expecting that.
See,
I'm not expecting that.
this is so good, because really, it was so humbling when he showed me. I didn't even know when I was actually getting a miracle. Now, come on. We even need him to really tell us when we fully have accepted the miracle, but it's so helpful. See, the ego's going to throw all kinds of, I doubt it or whatever, but I heard yes to it too. Ask Freddie. Freddie, what'd you hear?
I'm accepting a miracle.
So, but we can hear it, and we can hear it for the whole. Sometimes you'll hear, oh, it feels like maybe there's still a little more time. But we're together. But yes, I heard yes to it. Jesus, and I do a little test sometimes. Jesus, do I think that there's any kind of heaven in the play of control anymore? Yes or no?
It's gone. I don't know how else to say it.
It's a miracle. That's what a miracle is. It's gone. And then we look at it and he says, and then you won't even remember.
Yeah.
What the big deal was. We've been fighting with them for months or years or however long, keeping all this, baggage. And we go, but you could see what's so great again about this session, with both you guys, Freddie and Mary. Did you see what happened as soon as the mind said, you can hear it, I don't accept this in my mind. You could just see it go, that's the miracle. It's the change in mind, which changes the perception. It's the change in perception that whatever that desire is, control or guilt, has value. And we're deciding it no longer has value.
No.
And I'm willing to see it. And as soon as the mind goes like, show it to me fully, no holds barred, there's nothing. It's a collapse of time. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Such a good session. Whoa. And I'm feeling like we're like complete. You feel complete? I feel like
Yeah.
dancing. I do. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'm very much at peace.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too.
What a session, man. We got control and guilt in there.
Bye.
Bye.